Hey everybody, today we're going to fire up the Traeger Timberline XL behind me, and we're going to do some baby back ribs. And the thing that we're doing a little different today is we're going to do the 3-2-1 method. You may have heard of that. That's 3 hours unwrapped, 2 hours wrapped, and 1 hour unwrapped again to finish them off. We'll sauce at the end during the last 30 to 60 minutes when they're unwrapped, and we'll see how we do. I'll talk a little bit more about the 3-2-1 method, why I don't do it very often as we're getting the ribs ready, which I'm going to take you to right now. So let's get started. All right, so we have one of our racks of ribs ready to go here. I'm going to do the other one here real quick. So let me get some gloves on. So again, we're going to do these in the 3-2-1 method, and I don't do that very often because I don't want the ribs to be overcooked. I like bite-through ribs where it comes off the bone, but you have a bite mark. And 3-2-1 method to me will overcook them, make them a little mushy, fall off the bone, which some people like, and that's fine. It's just not the way I like them. But we're gonna do them in such a way that I'm hoping they won't overcook. So we'll see. Either way, they should taste good. I'm not really concerned about that. So let's just get these squared up, trimmed off here. Be careful with this super sharp knife. Here we go. Take off some of these edges. I did this same thing to the other rack here. And now we're gonna remove this membrane, which I actually don't mind the membrane being left on, but sometimes people like it off, so we're gonna do it today. So I'm just gonna get a butter knife under there, get it pried up a little bit and kind of get a finger hold there. And now we'll see how this works. Sometimes this is really easy, sometimes it's a pain. You just gotta work at it till you get it. Use some paper towel, and that one didn't go that well. All right, maybe we can get it now. Paper towel just helps you grip it. By the way, I do have a, there we go. That's good. All right, get that out of the way. And we're gonna leave the bone side up first. I'm gonna take a glove off here. And we're seasoning today with the barbecue rub from How to Barbecue Right. Just a good basic rub, provides some good color, good flavor. And so we're just gonna season from up high, get the ribs covered. It's not bad getting the sides on ribs. Like sometimes other meats, they're easy to forget. Ribs are pretty easy, but we still wanna make sure. Give a little pat there. And then turn over. All right, so I'm gonna get these in the fridge, let them start getting the meat sweats. We're gonna put these on pretty quickly here, so I'm gonna get the smoker started, and we'll bring you back. So I'll see you in a few minutes. All right, so we're gonna get our Traeger Timberline started. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start these out really low and slow. This is how I'm gonna try to avoid overcooking and making them fall off the bone, which again are not my favorites. And we're gonna do that at 200 degrees. And with the Traeger, we do have that super smoke option. So I'm going to turn that on. We'll get some good smoke on these. Oops. There we go, we're igniting. So I'll get the pellets filled up. We've got some apple pellets, and we're gonna get the ribs on here, so we'll bring you back in a minute. All right, so our smoker is not quite up to temperature, but I actually have to go. So I'm gonna trust the Traeger to do its thing. We are rolling some smoke, we're just not quite to temperature yet. So we're gonna get both these racks of ribs on. And whenever you do ribs, they'll cook like you lay them on the rack, so you want to kind of push them together. That'll keep them juicy and meaty. And there we go. So we're just gonna let this do its thing. I'm marking the time right now, and at exactly 3 hours, I'm really gonna try to hold to the timing. That's the point of this experiment. The only thing I'm doing a little different is typically, from what I understand, 321 ribs are done at 225. I'm gonna start these out lower than that at 200, but we're still gonna do the exact time, 3 hours, 2 hours, and 1 hour. So we'll bring you back in 3 hours. I'm not even gonna open this. So we'll see you in 3 hours. Okay, we're about 5 minutes away from 3 hours on the dot. So we're gonna take a quick look at these, and then I'm gonna get the camera set up inside and grab a pan and meet you inside so we can get these wrapped. And I'll show you how we're gonna do that and get them back on the cooker and go from there. So let's take a quick look. All right, color looks great. Nice deep mahogany. And we'll zoom in just a little bit there. So fat is starting to render, certainly not there yet, but the next step will certainly help with that. And looking good. So we'll get the camera set up inside. And in the meantime, I'm gonna turn up the temperature of the cooker to 225. There we go. Go a little bit warmer now, and the super smoke will be off because that certainly won't matter with the ribs wrapped. So we'll see you inside. Okay, so I've got one of these done. We're gonna do the other one together here, and they're exactly the same. What I've got is about 5 pats of butter down on some foil and a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. I'm gonna add some more of our Killer Hogs barbecue rub, the same rub we started with. And we're just gonna add a little bit of that, a little extra flavor. This isn't a super salty or super strong rub. So, you know, take into account whatever rub you're using as far as how much you think you will need. Now we're just going to take this rack of ribs and we're actually gonna put it bone side up. So meat side down on top of the butter. Start to melt that butter and grab a paper towel here. There we go. And now we're just going to fold this up and make sure we get the sides folded up and closed tightly. I'm gonna do one of them first. And now I've got about a little less than a cup of apple juice here, and I just split this this jar between the two. So we're just gonna pour that in, and you could use, whoa, forgot to fold this side up. Made a little mess. And you can use different liquids here. You could use water, you could use apple cider vinegar, you could even use chicken stock or something. Apple cider vinegar I would cut with water, but we just want some moisture in there. Just to start to break these ribs down, get them nice and tender. You want to be careful not to poke any holes in the foil. I did use a double layer of foil on each of these, and watch those bones, be gentle. And then we're just going to put them, I have an aluminum pan here, and this is mostly because smoke doesn't matter while they're wrapped. So I just want to keep the cooker clean in case these break open or leak out or whatever. It'll just be easier to clean up. So I'm going to take these straight back out to the smoker. I'm not going to bother filming that. You guys can imagine what it looks like to put an aluminum pan in a warm smoker. Temperature's up to 225, and we're going to let these go for exactly 2 hours. I will set my timer as soon as I get them out there. See you in 2 hours. Okay, so we are exactly 5 hours in. We've done our 3, we've just finished our 2, and it's time to move to the 1. So hopefully the camera is set up with a good view. It pretty much is. So we did have a little leakage, but not too bad. So I'm just gonna unwrap these foil packs right here. I do have rubber gloves with some insulators. Still gonna have to be pretty careful not to get burned. All right. So, I don't know if you can see this very well. Color's great. Getting some pullback on the bone there. All right, we're gonna keep this pit rocking at the 225. this one up close. So again, great color. So I'm just gonna put that on the top rack. And then you could save this juice, put it in a fat separator, mix it with barbecue sauce or something. I'm not gonna worry about that today. I'm just gonna get this pan back in there. Again, try to keep the smoker clean. We're gonna get this lid closed and start the timer for our last hour. I'm gonna take the camera inside and get it set up, and we're gonna build a real quick glaze. I'm gonna do something a little different on these ribs, so we'll get in there and get started. So we'll see you in a minute. Okay, so we're gonna build a real quick glaze. We're gonna do some honey mustard sauce ribs. I don't know how this is gonna turn out, to be honest with you. We'll learn together. So I've got some pure, real honey here. There's gonna be no measuring here today. I'm going to add maybe a quarter cup, something like that. And I've got the skillet on a low heat. We just want to bring this together, not that concerned about cooking it or anything like that. And then I've got some just plain yellow mustard here. I started this video and I'm really not actually ready. I've got the protective cap on. And we're gonna add probably just a little less mustard than we have honey. Something like that. And we'll leave both of these here in case I decide I need a little more of one or the other. And again, I said I wasn't ready, and that's the truth. I've got another kind of mustard here. This is just something I picked up at like an Amish cheese store. Jalapeno honey mustard. I just want to add something with a little additional flavor or bite. So I'm just gonna add like maybe a tablespoon of this. Pretty good, I like it. There we go. And now while that pan's heating up, I'm just gonna give this a mix. Just use the spoon that and I want to add some sort of seasoning, maybe the rub that we use, but I want to taste this first. So I'm just going to let it come together a little more, let it warm up. You can feel the honey is thinning out, so the heat's definitely getting to it. Wow. It's actually pretty good. I think it needs just a little bit more honey. So maybe just a couple of tablespoons there. And this is way too much for the ribs. So depending on how much is left, maybe we'll save it, maybe not. We'll see. I sort of feel like this would be really good over some smoked cream cheese. I feel like it would be really good on chicken. And it doesn't get a lot simpler than this, that's for sure. Yep, I think that's gonna do it. I don't even think it needs any seasoning. So we're gonna leave this as is. If I end up adding anything, I'll let you know. In the meantime, we're gonna get the camera set up back outside so we can baste this on at the proper time, probably in the next 30 minutes. So about a half an hour of cook time left on the ribs. We'll start basting the ribs and we'll go from there. And I don't know if I made this clear. I've really never done 3-2-1 ribs. So on some level, this is gonna be an experiment. We'll see how it turns out. Maybe the last time I do this, or maybe the first of many. We'll see. But either way, you'll get my honest opinion, and we'll go from there. So see you in a little bit. Okay, we're down to our last 15 minutes. I actually lost track of time. I meant to sauce these earlier, but I didn't get to it. Great pullback on the bones. Everything is looking really good. So I've got our honey mustard sauce here that we made, and I'm just gonna paint some on here. Kind of makes a weird color mixing with the ribs. I don't want to overdo this. I'm really not interested in getting my grill all messy, but some of it will drip. Not much to do about it. All right, so we're gonna save this sauce off to the side. We'll use it after we pull these off, maybe in the last couple of minutes too, but we're gonna get this lid closed and let them keep going, and I will bring you back. All right, so we are pulling these ribs. It is just a couple minutes before time. So we're just gonna look at them real quick. Sauce tacking up, pull away on the bone. If you see that back here, looks great. Kind of what we're looking for sure. Of course, every rack's different, but you start to see that kind of pull away and you know they're getting close to done. So 3-2-1 method, went a little lower on the heat initially just because we didn't want them to be super overdone. You know, again, I don't love fall off the bone ribs. I think these are gonna be good. So I'm gonna get the camera set up inside. I'm gonna yank these off and we'll meet you in there. Okay, so we've let our ribs rest for just a few minutes, really probably not long enough, but we're in a little bit of a hurry tonight. So this is our 3-2-1 ribs, 3 hours straight on the smoker at 200, 2 hours wrapped with some butter, brown sugar, a little bit of apple juice for 2 hours at 225. And then for the last hour, bumped up to 250 with our honey mustard glaze, which is just fairly close to equal parts honey and mustard, a little more honey than mustard, and then a dollop or two of jalapeno mustard just because I had some. You could use a little Dijon or something like that just to give it a little bit of a kick. Not spicy at all, but really good. Then when I brought the ribs in, they were of course basted on the smoker. I basted them again here on the cutting board inside, and then I added just a light sprinkle of our How to Barbecue Right the barbecue rub. Not very much at all, just a little extra flavor. So let's see how we did. So sometimes I like to do ribs, you know, a whole slab. Sometimes I like to do like a Hollywood cut, which I'll do here. Kind of did a bad line there. Maybe I won't do a Hollywood cut for my first one. Okay, let's take a look at this. There's our smoke ring that you can't get with a pellet cooker, which is nonsense. Tenderness feels good. Temperature, just so you know, is, depending on where I checked in the rib, it was anywhere from 198 to 204 when I brought them in, so it certainly carried over a little bit and went up. Oh boy, that's really good. So let's just try one of these, see how we did. I just tried a little piece. So for me, that's ideal. Bite through, bite mark, comes right off the bone. The bone is super clean. That's perfect. This is a great rib. So now if I'd have gone 225 at the start, instead of lowering that to 200, we probably would have had closer to fall off the bone, which I think still would have tasted fine, but not the way I like them. So this is a way that I can do a 3-2-1 method and not overcook them. Turned out really well. As I'm filming the last of this video, I have 999 subscribers. So I'm going to try to do a good thumbnail here on this video, try to have a catchy title, and I'm going to try to hit that 1,000 subscribers sometime this weekend. If you haven't subscribed, I would definitely appreciate it. Please like this video and go ahead and subscribe. We'll see you next stop, 2,000 subscribers, I guess. See you next time. Thanks for joining.